Hi everyone. So we're gonna do a more comprehensive example. Let's start on the right here with these 4 pikes. These were locked by the 2 blade elements in the previous close combat. So let's take a look at page 101 of Sue Laughlin Barker's Start Ancient Wargaming using DBA 3.0. Copyright John Curry and Sue Laughlin Barker, 2015. I hope I'm not committing an infringement by making this video. So on page 101, tactical moves. A tactical move is a voluntary move that normally uses up pips and happens before shooting and close combat. It can be by a single element or a group of elements, but cannot include any element currently in close combat. So that's repeated a little further down. It cannot be used by an element in close combat, which can break off only by a recoil or flee outcome move. So these guys are stuck. Let's move to the left. Both of these right center 4 pikes are in the threat zone of this 4 blade. And they want to be in combat, so we're going to use 1 pip of the 5 that we rolled. So let's push them forward. Wooden blocks. What can you do? So I'm going to cover support when we get to close combat. Next, we've got some Psiloi. Ptolemaic successors were nominally led by Greek generals. We'll try and pronounce the Greek as well as we can, Psiloi. Let's look at page 104. Interpenetrating troops. If making a tactical move or fleeing, a mounted element can pass through friendly Psiloi or Psiloi pass through any friends, but in both cases only if there is sufficient clear space beyond and enough move to occupy it, and either A, it starts at least partly directly in front and ends the move lined up behind, or B, it starts lined up behind and ends lined up in front. So they're more than partly, they are directly in front. And they'll end up the move lined up behind. They've got plenty of movement to do so. So they can interpenetrate. Psiloi are the only foot troops that can interpenetrate any foot troops. So whether that means touching or lined, to me this is lined up. That's a fair move. We can discuss that, send in your comments. The pikes then, they'll use another pip. They can do that because they're moving as a single element. And they'll move into combat with these 4 blades. So we've used 1, 2, 3 so far. The 4 warband, they're in the threat zone. In previous turns, the warband and the Psiloi had gone forward as skirmishers ahead of the pike line while the pikes were kind of reforming. And fortunately for the Psiloi, they could get out of the way. Unfortunately, the warband haven't got that luxury. They can't interpenetrate pikes. Page 101. A group is a contiguous set of elements all facing in the same direction, with each in both edge and corner-to-corner contact with another, so they're corner-to-corner and edge-to-edge. A column is a group only 1 element wide, so these would constitute a column. A group can only move forwards. This does not give a +1 to him. What he does do is give a tactical factor of -1 to him. Notice that it's front corner to front corner and front edge to side edge contact. So let's go down to -1 for each enemy element, either overlapping or in front edge and front corner to corner, front corner to front corner contact with flank. Okay, so these guys get a -1. Now, this is a +3 against foot. That lends another 3 as a rear support factor. This gets no support factor. However, this 3 and 3 goes -1 because of the tactical factor of -1 here. So he's a 5 and he's a 5. Let's not roll. Let's assume that the pikes recoil. This creates a very interesting situation, which is covered on page 112. Destroyed elements. An element that has an enemy front edge in contact with its side or rear edge is destroyed by recoiling, being pushed back, fleeing, or being in a column whose front element is destroyed. So this element, this is a double kill here. Why? Because he recoils and he's on his flank. He is pushed back and he is on his flank. We can take these off. The right center 4 pikes. Let's assume this is a recoil and go to page 104. Interpenetrating troops. Recoilers can pass through friends facing in exactly the same direction to a clear space immediately behind the first element met, but only if either A, B, C, or D. So this doesn't meet any of those, take my word for it. So these pikes are pushed back. The definitions of recoil and interpenetrate and pushed back, they vary. Those conditions vary dramatically depending on troop types. And so I created a little table of interactions, and that's right here. So let's look at pikes. There's pikes. Let's follow them over to, where's my other pikes? They're here. So pikes, over to pikes. The lead element recoils. The backing element is pushed back, R and P. The last two combat portions of the combat phase we're not going to cover because they don't really enter into any territory that we haven't already covered. So thanks for watching.